Hi everybody, Zoe team here, and today we're going to be covering a high-level overview of the Zoe platform, specific areas of functionality, and what you can do to get started building out your own Zoe store. Before we jump into that, just a little bit of background on Zoe as a platform. Zoe is a very powerful e-commerce solution that's used by businesses all over the world and businesses of all sizes, typically ones who are really focused on growing their online revenue. Zoe is very flexible and includes tons of great features while still being intuitive and easy to use for anybody, including non-developers. Now, what we're going to cover today are 5 main areas that you need to focus on in order to get started building out your Zoe store. Those 5 areas are designing your storefront, building out your catalog and inventory, setting up payments, integrating shipping options, and lastly, extending the functionality of the platform using our great app and integration partners. Now let's get started on design. Everything from a design perspective in Zoe happens within this Edit My Design tab. And one thing that you'll quickly notice with our platform that's very different than other e-commerce solutions is that I actually have several themes that are currently installed in my store. We see that we have the basil leaf theme right here, and that's my currently published theme, which means it's what's available for people to see on my storefront or my website. But I also have another theme, my Moderni theme. And so one thing that really sets Zoe apart from a design perspective is that you can actually have multiple different themes installed in your store, and while you only have one that's publicly available, you can have several other themes that you're working on. Now this is great if you want to do a site redesign, maybe you're planning something for the holidays, but you don't want to have to pull your website down, put it in maintenance mode while you're making those changes. Instead, you can make all of those changes in the background, and once it's great, it's ready to go, then just simply click Publish Theme in order to make that theme live. Now, another major difference between Zoe and other platforms is that we offer a great drag and drop design editor. It makes it super easy for anybody to design their own storefront. It's very flexible to use, but still keeps everything within a responsive framework. So let's jump into a page and just see what editing a page would look like within Zoe. I'm going to click in to edit our home page of my active theme right now. Now, this is a WYSIWYG style, or what you see is what you get type editor, in the fact that what I'm editing right now is what my storefront will actually look like. There's tons of different options that I can choose to add content to a page, including product data, text and images, different ways to interact with my customers through social media. I can structure the content in different ways using boxes and strips. And also for the developers out there, you can even add in your own custom HTML. So if you're looking to embed an Instagram feed, create a store locator, all super easy to do, all using an HTML block. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is a drag and drop design editor, and that means it's very easy to go in and start making changes to restructure a page and build something how you want. So if I want to add in a new banner right here, I just simply clear some space out, pick what content I want to add to a page, such as an image, and then Zoe's going to help me with some handy snap-to guidelines to make sure that everything's lined up and looking beautiful. Now I can resize my image to however I want it to look, and then just move things back into place so that the spacing and padding looks great, right? All super easy to do, all without the need for code. And the beauty is that, again, it's keeping everything responsive, it's keeping everything mobile friendly, and if I want to double check, I can always jump into tablet mode, and I can jump into mobile mode as well. And you can see that Zoe's taking care of all of these things for me, so I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm compliant with SEO standards. I know everything is going to look great, and everything is going to be mobile friendly. Now, just jumping back to our main design editing page right here, in addition to editing things like our home page, you can use this drag and drop design editor to redesign and customize other pages throughout your online store. Pages like the product page, the category template, and I can actually have as many product and category templates as I want. This is really great if you have lots of different types of products that you sell, and so maybe some of the pages make sense to display products in a certain way, but for other products, you want to highlight them in a different way. Again, very flexible from a design perspective. Lastly, our design editor actually doubles as a CMS tool as well. So if you're looking to create content pages, a very common one being about us, but anything else that you want to create, maybe the brands that you represent or a fit and style guide, you can use those same intuitive drag and drop design tools in order to very easily build out those content pages as well. So you really can use Zoe as the entirety of your store and not just an e-commerce add-on. Now, once you've got everything designed, it's looking great, your theme is published, you've got all your content pages, then the next thing that you're going to want to do is start to build out your catalog. And typically a catalog consists of two different things, your categories and then your products. So we'll jump in and go over both of those. Everything from a catalog perspective happens under the Products tab, and then we're going to start with building out our categories. Typically, it's easier to build out the categories like you're setting up shelves in a store, and then you can stock those shelves with products. Now, building out a new category in Zoey is extremely easy. Just click this Add Category button, and all you really have to do is simply give your category a name. I'll call this one New Category, and Zoey's going to start populating things like your search engine information, your URL. It's going to do all of that for you. And one really cool thing to note regarding URLs is that the way that Zoey sets up a URL key is very simple and straightforward. If I call my category New Category, then my URL is going to be website.com/new-category. And this may seem like common sense, but there are quite a few, especially legacy platforms, where that's not the case. You might see a crazy URL like website.com/asp.cat=4, something that makes no sense. It's not plain and simple English, and those are things that actually get penalized in search rankings. No worries with Zoey. We use a clean and straightforward or SEO-friendly URL structure so that everything makes sense and is intuitive and also is approved by Google. Now, if I want to create different layers of categories, totally doable as well. You can see I've got subcategories, I've got sub-subcategories, and I can very simply drag and drop my categories in order to move them around. So now I've got yet a sub-sub-subcategory. From here, you can also add additional content to your categories. You can give it an image, you can give it a description, and you can even manage the products from within this category as well. All of it super easy to do. Again, all very intuitive. Now, once you've built out the category structure, then the next thing that you're going to want to do is start building out some products. We want to see those products in our store. And so we're going to go to the products list now. And the products list is where you can manage your entire inventory as far as products. Now, there are a few different things that you can see right here. First is some different ways that you can view your catalog of products, right? There's different tabs, some of which are just the products that customers can actually see on the website versus all of the products in your store. You can set up a notification for a product to become low stock, right? So maybe I want to make sure I'm always aware of products that I have less than 10 in stock of, so I know I can replenish that. Well, Zoey makes it super easy to do and see that. And then also any products that you've maybe temporarily disabled for your store. You also have the ability to control the content that's on this page. So for example, maybe I don't care what the image is, right? I know my product's inside and out, so I don't need that. I just want to get rid of that for the real estate. Perfect. Get rid of that as an active column, and now it's not there anymore. There's a ton of data that you can pick and choose from. And so basically you can just show whatever information is important for you to run your business on a daily basis. But now let's look at actually building out a product. And we'll do that by selecting our new product button. And then you'll see here I'm taken to a page where I see different options for different types of products that I can create. And there are quite a few different product types within Zoey, and that's great because not one single product type necessarily suffices for every single type of business. And being the flexible platform that we are, we offer tons of different product types that you can pick and choose from. I'm going to focus specifically on the two most commonly used ones, which are simple and configurable products, and we're going to specifically build out a configurable product. But just to give you some background, a simple product is exactly what it sounds like. It's a standalone product. It doesn't have any options or variations associated with it, versus a configurable product, which again is a physical product. It has inventory tied to it. It actually gets shipped to a customer, but it does have variations. And this is one that people often use most commonly. So we're going to jump in and build a configurable product for you. Now, there's a few necessary fields that I need to have in order to build up my product, and they're typically the basics. I need to have a name. I need to have some sort of description. I need to have a price for my product, and it's all very simple to do, and you'll note that there's an asterisk next to anything that is required. To try to save your product and you don't have one of those required fields, Zoey's going to let you know that don't navigate away from this page and lose your information. You need to make sure that you give this product a name or a price or whatever you need. Right, so we're just going to call this one test product for right now. Again, you can see that Zoey's assigning it our cleaner SEO-friendly URL. We'll give a test description just for purposes of filling out the field. And you can also use this style editor right here if you want to do something beyond just basic text. Maybe you want to do rich text, underline, tables, embed images, embed videos. You can do all of that very simply right here using this editor. I can also add in images to my product, right? You can either drag an image or you can simply browse and then choose from different things that you have already uploaded in your computer, right? Maybe I'll do this nice wool sweater, right? And then I can see the image that I've got here. I can add as many product images as I want. I can choose which one is the main image that gets displayed on the product page. Again, all very easy to do. The next section is defining our pricing, right? And so depending on how you actually want to do your pricing, there's actually two different options for configurable products in the way in which you want to do your pricing. So I'm going to set our base price as 100, and you'll see there's two different price types. And the difference between those two different price types is fixed pricing means that no matter what options you select, the pricing is going to remain the same, versus custom pricing means that depending on which options you select, there may be some variances in the price. I'm going to do custom just so we can see how we actually set up those variation-based pricing. Now, the next thing that we'll do is we want to most likely define a weight for our product. You don't have to fill this out necessarily. You can leave it as 0, but if you're looking to integrate real-time shipping rates, you're going to need to know the weight so that you can accurately charge those shipping rates. So I'm going to say that this fine wool sweater weighs 2 pounds. And then next we get to the section where we start to define our variations, right? And so this is a great and easy tool where you can quickly build out all these different option combinations. I'm going to keep it relatively simple for right now, but just to let you know, it is wide open. If you sell coffee beans and you want to have different grind types, if you sell clothing but you have different fabric types that you can use and the pocket can be on different sides, whatever it is, you can build that in and Zoey will accommodate it. But I'm just going to keep it to size and color for right now. Oh, you see, as I start typing, I happen to have size already in my store, but if I didn't have it, I could just simply create the new variation right here, and then I have a variation name, and now I just have to start assigning some values. So we'll say small to start. I'm going to make it capital. We'll go medium, and then we'll go large. And now I could say I'm done. This is just a one thing. It only comes in different sizes, but no other variations, or maybe I want to add another dimension. And so let's pick color as the other dimension that we're going to use. And we'll say that this comes in red, it comes in green, and it comes in blue. And now I've got a few different option variations that I'm working with, and so I'm going to click done here, and Zoey's going to take a second, and then it's going to build out all the various combinations. Because I've got 3 sizes and 3 colors, that technically results in 9 separate products that I've just created, but I did it in about 2 seconds. Now you can see all the various combinations that we have right here. Zoey's going to automatically assign a SKU. It's going to automatically choose the price based on the base price. If there's ever a scenario in which, like, I actually don't sell small red versions of this product, perfect. Uncheck it. Next time you save, it's going to get rid of that for you. Now, as we mentioned earlier, we may want to do custom pricing. Maybe the large version of this product costs a little bit more. Well, not a problem at all. I can change the pricing for just the larges, as you can see very easily right here. But I could also make bulk updates. If almost all of my products were going to actually start costing $125, I can very easily update all of these, and I can do the same for our inventory as well. Now, people often ask, well, why do I have to have all these extra products? Why do I need 10 products just to represent this one sweater that just happens to come in 9 different variations? And the reason for that is actually very important, and it's all tied back to inventory. The #1 biggest faux pas that you can ever commit for running an online store is selling something online that you don't actually have. You're going to have to go back to that customer and you're going to have to apologize and say, oh, I'm sorry, I actually can't fulfill this. I'm going to cancel your order, but that customer is never coming back. Right? You always want to make sure that you're keeping apprised of your inventory situation, and then if you need to replenish that inventory, you know exactly what you need to do. And so the way that Zoey is set up is important, and intentionally so, because it allows you to very clearly understand what you have and do not have in stock, and make sure that a customer isn't accidentally ordering something that you don't really have. So you can set these individual inventory levels right here, and then as soon as somebody buys the small blue version of my sweater, well, then it's going to go down to 0. It's not going to be available as a selection anymore. Make sure that everything is running in lockstep with my business. Now, the next section that you're going to want to take a look at is assigning this product to categories. And you can choose from a drop-down menu of the categories that exist right here, like maybe this will be in clothing, or you can also start just typing things as well, and it's going to give me suggestions based on what categories are in my store. So maybe I'll put this in both clothing and the subcategory that's underneath clothing, and sure, why not, even the subcategory. Now you see the 3 categories that I've just placed this product into. If I want to get rid of it for one of them, not a problem. I just simply uncheck the box. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about for products is the area of custom attributes. Now, this is something it's pretty specific and unique to Zoey, but it is a great feature, so I definitely recommend understanding it and taking advantage of it. Custom attributes are really anything that can describe a product. Technically, all the things that we've talked about, like name and price and SKU, those are also attributes, but those are just built into your store. They're kind of tied into the core e-commerce functionality. But then we also can put in our own custom attributes. And so an example for that might be if I sell fashion, maybe I sell lots of different brands, and so I want to add an attribute called brand. All right, and now I'll be able to clearly identify what brands are represented in this product. So we'll just say example brand, just to make it easy, and it doesn't exist in my store, so perfect. I'll just create it right there. And now I'm done. Now I can use this attribute in a few different ways. Maybe it's something totally on the back end that I just use for shipping and fulfillment purposes and customers don't even know about it. Fair enough. Maybe I put it on the product page so that customers can see a list of information related to this product that's based on the attributes that I assign. Also great too, but probably the #1 use case that you can do with attributes is in the area of filtering. So filtering with attributes is a super powerful conversion tool. Makes it easy, especially if you have a large inventory. Nobody's going to want to click through 1,000 different products to find the one that they specifically are looking for, right? It's never going to happen. And so if you do have that large inventory, you want to make sure it's very easy for customers to find exactly what they're looking for. And so you can use attributes to create filters in your store. And then customers can then go to the clothing page, and then I filter by men's clothing, and I filter by size is medium and color is red, and I see that this product specifically has those options. I know exactly how I can buy it now. It's great. It's a huge conversion tool and something that a lot of other platforms will charge you upwards of $1,000 per month just to have access to this feature, but readily available in all Zoey plans. So something I would definitely take advantage of. Now I'm going to go ahead and save our product just so we keep all the hard work that we've done right here. Right, and there's lots of other different product types. I'll just go into some of the high-level overview of those other products that that you can potentially create as well. There are different types of products that kind of combine other things together, such as a group or bundled product. And the difference is a group is a pre-built set versus a bundle is different options that you might be selecting. So it could be like a laptop where technically I'm selecting different options for the components for the hard drive and for the graphics card and for the storage and all these different things, right? So, those are some really great ways to have customers interact with many different types of products, but still make it very easy for them to go ahead and check out. And then the last few that I like to mention too, because again, they're pretty cool to work with, are virtual products and downloadable products. Now, a virtual product might be something like a warranty or a service or something like it. There's no physical inventory tied to it, but you still want to be able to sell it. Great use case there. And downloadable product is if you want to sell content. I want to sell, I made a white paper and I'm going to sell it on my store, or I have a musical recording and so I want to sell that. Customer buys it, then once you approve the order, they get a download link that's totally secure, and then they can download the product. The last type of product is a gift card, right? Pretty straightforward, but great that it comes readily available in all Zoey plans. You can either make a gift card a product that customers can purchase from. It's great for your store, or you can actually just create those gift cards on the back end and use that as a way to reward your best customers as kind of a little loyalty program. So lots of cool stuff that you can do with all the different product types within Zoey. Now, we've designed our store, we've built out our categories, and we've filled them with products, and so the next thing that we want to make sure we do is, people see this great website, they see these great products, well, how do they buy these products? And so that's where we'll go to our setup menu, where we talk about payments, and then we'll talk about shipping. So jumping into the payment section for just a moment, one great thing about going with a hosted e-commerce solution like Zoey is that you never have to worry about security, you don't have to worry about PCI compliance, everything like that is taken care of for you, right? That's the biggest concern for anybody who's trying to sell online is, is my and my customer's data secure? And the answer is yes. And we maintain this security by having pre-integrated payment gateways that are just readily available for you to use. No complicated plugins that you have to install, no worries about anything about the integration. It's all just done for you. And so let's take PayPal for an example. It's a very popular payment gateway that many people use on our platform. all I have to do is simply sign up for a PayPal account. I plug in my email, I plug in my API information, which is basically just a username and password that PayPal provides to me, and then I can enable this solution for checkout. It's that simple. Now, if you don't want to use PayPal, not a problem. We have tons of other options that we integrate with. Over 70 of the leading payment gateways and providers, including things like Stripe and Braintree and Authorize.net, as well as some pretty unique options like Login and Pay with Amazon. That is one I would definitely recommend taking a look at too. It's great. It allows people, instead of entering in their credit card information, to simply check out with their Amazon account. Again, it's a really great conversion tool, and I would just recommend exploring all the different options that Zoey comes available with right out of the box. Now, once I've chosen and integrated my payment method, people are buying my products, the next thing I need to do is I need to be able to ship them to people, and so that's where we go to our shipping section. Now, Zoey has tons of great shipping integrations that are readily available native to our platform. Those are integrations with companies like FedEx, UPS, USPS, and DHL. And setting those integrations up is just as simple as we saw with PayPal. All I need to do is just simply sign up for a USPS or whichever web services account. They'll give me this user ID and password. I just plug it in right there, and then it's readily available to go. What this is actually going to do is it's going to pull live rates from UPS, from their API, and it's going to display those rates for the customers to be able to choose. Those rates are going to be based on the distance, so where am I located and where am I shipping to. It's going to be based on the weight, which we mentioned in our products earlier, and it's also going to be based on the methods that I select, right? So all the different carriers have tons of different shipping methods, but you want to make sure that you keep it to a relatively limited amount, maybe 3 methods, especially with if you're using free shipping as well. And you can just pick and choose from them right here. And so, try to mix it up, maybe have next day air, some ground delivery, and then potentially something international, just to make sure you're capturing that market too. Now, going back to the main shipping screen, we mentioned that we have all these great direct integrations with the major carriers, but we also work with a bunch of great app partners that do shipping as well. So I'd like to highlight a couple just in case you have some specific shipping use cases. One is a great, phenomenal app called Shipper HQ. If you ever have a very complex shipping requirement that just isn't satisfied based on the distance and the weight, then definitely check out Shipper HQ. They can handle very complex shipping requirements and still make it easy for you to manage. And then another very cool one is called ShipWire. Now, ShipWire essentially operates a network of warehouses all around the world. And what they basically do is, let's say, I'm based here in New York City, but I want to start breaking into the UK market. But it's difficult for me to do because I have to always ship internationally in order to get there, right? So it's not great. It's hurting my business. How do I expand without, having to buy real estate in the UK? The answer is a drop shipping solution like ShipWire. I would just send my products over there in bulk, and then the next time an order from the UK comes in, I can charge local shipping rates, and then they're going to handle the fulfillment for me. So we have tons of great options available for third-party fulfillment, things like that, and just good to know that no matter what your shipping requirements are, Zoey is going to be able to handle them. So now I have designed my store, I have built out the catalog and inventory, I've set up payments, I've integrated shipping, so now I can technically do everything necessary in order to run an e-commerce business, and that's great. But nobody ever wants to just, kind of sit where they are right now. They always want to know how they can grow their business, and the answer to that question is through Zoey's App Store. Now, because Zoey is such a feature-rich platform, you're not going to see apps in our store like you might see with other e-commerce platforms where they do basic e-commerce functionality, like I want to print shipping labels. Well, on other platforms, you need an app for that. That's just native functionality within Zoey. Or I want to set up kits and bundles for my products. Again, no need for an app for that. That's just built in natively to our platform. So really what our apps focus on is business automation, business scalability, and growth, right? So it's not that we couldn't do our tax management within Zoey, but I don't want to ever have to deal with tax. I didn't get into the tax business, and so I want to automate my taxes. Well, Zoey has some great apps for that. And it's kind of along those lines. And so, a couple of integrations that I love to highlight are, firstly, the Google suite of products, right? Google Analytics is a must-have for all e-commerce businesses. It's free to use. It's already built into Zoey, so I would definitely recommend that you integrate Google Analytics into your store in order to better understand who your customers are, where they're coming from, and what they're doing, or potentially where they're leaving. If you're looking to add additional apps to your store, great. You can go here and browse our great app store. And again, these apps span the gamut of order management, inventory management. We've got CRM, we've got customer support, we've got marketing, we've got SEO, we've got targeting and personalization. Just so much that you can do to extend the functionality that's already quite functional within Zoey even further, and really helps to grow and scale and automate your business. Now, that is a brief overview of the Zoey platform. For any other questions, if there's anything that we haven't covered today, you can feel free to go to our support website, our knowledge base, which is support.zoey.com. There's tons of great guides and tutorials that you can find there that will really help you to understand and leverage the powerful functionality found within the Zoey platform. Thank you all and have a great day.